I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is
the Family Showdown! Greetings, salutations. I think we're here. Can you hear us? Maybe?
This was a Murphy's Law situation.
If it was new equipment, it decided not to work.
Everything
crashed. So, hi.
Good evening. How's it going?
It's been interesting to watch your conversations. You guys have been having some good talks, and now I'm like, we should just turn it over to you guys, man.
You guys should just come on and...
it's beautiful.
Oh, we're echoing. Awesome. That's awesome. I don't know what to do.
Echoing? Is it a setting on there?
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay. Hold up. We got this.
Maybe.
Sorry about the echo. Lord. We had to completely redo
the entire sound.
Hold on. We're going to try.
So, I don't know what we causing the echo.
You don't hear the echo, Julio? Huh.
I don't know what... Are we echoing for everyone? Because I don't know what could possibly be causing that.
Yeah, Julio doesn't see it. Big Zoom stream.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Whew,
Don't mess with me like that. I've already. So all our sound just completely went bonkers. That's why this mic is sitting here. It would normally be here, but that was our only solution to the sound situation. So there you go. So sorry if it bothers you having this in front of us. I'll move it so it's more...
I wouldn't bother. A lot of people have those out.
All right. So let's go to the top 10. Let's do this. Let's do this top 10 thing.
So I already noticed in the discussion that some of you had the discussion of what the title means, like big games in a small package. Is it a bang for your buck? Is it like a tiny box? Is it for the size of the box it's a big game? Like there's all these different ways you could define this, right?
So I kind of did a little bit of everything.
Cheater, so did I.
and kind of weighed it all together. So first criteria, small box. And by small box, I mean like small box. And then one, table presence. It's gonna spread out over the table. It's going to have a lot of stuff going on, and or it's a very heavy game. Like its weight is like a heavy strategy game. There's a lot going on. It's a big game in that sense.
Okay.
Then I also included a ton of players gathered around the table playing this game.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
So that's another way I kind of viewed it. A lot of players could be involved in the game all at once.
Okay.
So all those weighed in, and then to a lesser degree, how much I like the game.
Okay. The other one I added to that was like had crazy high replayability. Like it seems like you could play this game a lot. Like you got a lot of game and it wasn't super samey.
I didn't even think about that. That's another good way. So, replayability, you're gonna get a lot of use out of the little game.
But it wasn't just the same, because I like variability play or something about it made it so that it's not the same old thing every single time. So, yep.
All right, so
that's it.
That put together. So please let us know if the audio does anything weird, because I completely kind of threw together a different audio setup.
The term is jury rigged.
I threw together a different audio setup, so I don't know what's going to happen when I switch scenes and things. So let me know if something messes up. But let's get started with my number 10.
Woot woot. Number 10.
All right.
That's you.
All right. Here we go. My number 10. Let's see, what is my number 10? My number 10 is Saboteur. This is an oldie but a goodie, but this one got a recent reprint. This is a social deduction game, which you'll find a common theme to a lot of my games, because it seems like social deduction games don't require a lot of components, but they play really big. And this one actually plays big on table space, because you're building out a map, a sprawling map. You're basically trying to guide your team to the treasure, while the bad guys, that's why it's social deduction, some people are bad guys, are trying to divert people and stop them and keep them from getting the treasure. Comes in a little tiny box. Again, it was reprinted, so I assume it's still in a little box.
Please let it be, because that's the best part.
But it's a fun
tiny,
little
unassuming game.
This used to be. I mean, we haven't played this one in a while.
Well,
No, I mean a while, even before.
Yeah, it's been a little
before
while.
the change of the times.
I love this game.
But this one is a good one. This is what I would consider kind of an introductory to social deduction games. It kind of gives you an idea of how they work and having teams, hidden teams, and that sort of thing.
It's also introductory to how to turn your neighbors and new friends all on each other.
But this one kind of made the list because, again, you're building out a map. So it's a deck of cards, but it's kind of sprawls out on the table. You're creating a pretty big map.
I like it. I
All
like
right.
it.
What's your number 10?
Are you doing the thingy?
I'm waiting for you to say something.
Oh, okay.
It switches directly from mine to yours.
Oh, okay. All right. My number 10 is Coffee Roaster. This is my one solo game on this. It's got a fairly large box, but this is one of those, for what it is, it seems like it's kind of a big box, but inside is a crazy amount of variability to play. This is one of those that I said where you can play this game over and over and over, and it's not going to be the same play. For one thing, they've got different levels that you can play. It's got what it recommends for you to try the first time or the first few times, and it's got like introductory level, kind of a medium level, and then it's got an expert level, and it's so there's 3 different zones of like difficulty here that you can try the different types of coffees and stuff with it, and building it and trying it. And it's also, you're drawing things and whatnot. So I mean, it's such a fun game, and it's you can play it over and over. This is one of the few, again, I'm not a huge solo player, but this one I could keep coming back to this over and over and over and playing it. It's fun, it's different. I like the cute little art with it. And yeah, I suppose you could sprawl it out a little bit while you're playing too, so it kind of covers a little bit of table space, especially for one person, right? But it's, I don't know. Try it out if you haven't tried it. This is a really fun solo game, and that's Coffee Roaster.
I think I need to try this one.
It's neat.
I'm
very
really
puzzling.
I am like the opposite of a solo player, but I should try this one because just to say I did.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
It's like bungee jumping. You need to do it once just to say you did. Right?
Oh, how interesting that you should say that.
And I remember now how to get rid of your stuff. Look, I remember how to do it now.
Look at that, magical.
All right, let's move on to the number 9s.
Number 9.
All right, my number 9. I don't know what it is. Let's see what it is.
It's a mystery.
My number 9 is Good Cop, Bad Cop.
Oh my gosh, you cannot get much smaller than
This is
game.
the reason. That's exactly the reason why this one made the list is because it comes in a deck of card box. It's like that's small. It's like a deck of
cards.
It's really, you can't get much smaller. I don't know. Maybe they're smaller. Maybe there's one game. No, I think.
Well, they've got those little games that are like a size of a stick of gum and stuff too.
Oh yeah, those games. I've never played any of those, though.
I have a couple. I have them. They're still in my backpack from when I take them to school all the time. But,
so yeah, Good Cop, Bad Cop, no social deduction game. Like I said, there's going to be several of those on here. This one plays really big because you're gathering equipment. Basically, you're 2 teams. It's another team's game. You have good cops and bad cops, and the goal is for the good cop. There's a leader for each team, and you're trying to kill the leader of the opposite team. So you're getting guns, you're getting equipment to protect yourself. But it's funny because you point a gun. If you get a gun, you point it at someone around the table. And basically, if it makes it all the way around back to you again, the gun goes off. So you have that long for someone to try to stop it from happening. The thing is, you might not know who's on your team and who the leaders are. So you're like, do I help this guy? Do I let him shoot?
It's a fun social deduction game. And you're right, we have not played this in a while. It's a great one. It's another one of those more the merrier, right? The more players you have, the crazier it gets.
Yeah, I think it plays up to, I want to say 8 maybe.
Yeah,
6 to 8, somewhere in there.
It's fairly large.
But
number.
this one is a tiny box.
It is. It's just.
And it recently got a reprint, and there's several expansions for it that I didn't even know they existed. There's 3 expansions.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we haven't played this one. I can't even remember the last time we played it, but I had to include it because it is just a deck of cards.
It's a lot of fun.
It's not even a lot of deck of card games come in a slightly bigger box, but it comes in what you would get. It's the same exact thing as a deck of cards, the same packaging as a deck of cards. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you might walk by it and not even know it's there.
All right, what's your number?
My
9?
number 9 is another one that's not huge on the table, but replayability is crazy high, and that is Sushi Go Party. Comes in this cute little tin, and this one is one of my favorite family and casual, just gaming with friends kind of games, because you can take it and you set up on the board. You get to pick what your appetizer and your dessert and all that stuff is on there. So, and there's a variety of them that you can choose from. They have recommended combos. You can go crazy and do your own. And then, of course, you're playing with a drafting and trying to do set collection and whatnot. You can redo that hundreds of different ways, right? And it was a lot of fun for our family in particular too. As like the little one got older, it was a proud moment for her because she wanted to set up the game, and so she got to set it up ahead of time. And you know, the kids like to explain the rules to everyone. Families, if you have families that played cards and stuff, this one's a really easy one to teach, and it's got adorable art, so everybody's chatting and having a good time around the table. You can play this over and over. It's a pretty quick game too. I love Sushi Go Party. I liked Sushi Go. That was a fun game. But then Sushi Go Party just took it to a whole new level because you can just keep playing it, and it's different every time.
The Sushi Go is the same game over and over again,
but
right?
it doesn't have the little board. It doesn't have different...
No, I'm saying the original Sushi Go, you don't have all the different... You don't swap in cards and things like that you do in Sushi Go Party.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
But you could have gone a little smaller. Sushi Go's smaller.
Sushi Go is smaller, but it's not real... I wouldn't consider it a big game in a small package. I think it's just a small game in a small package.
Yeah.
But Sushi Go Party...
Someone who was it? Nick. Tuck Box is what I was trying to think of. That's what they're called, tuck boxes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're called.
Yeah, the tuck box. There you go.
There you go. All right, let's move on to number 8.
Number 8.
Having a live mic between the numbers bothers me.
Why?
I don't know, because I might sneeze or do something.
Well, then turn your head away. I don't know. Man, we haven't had high tech that long. Calm down.
My number 8. Here we go. Number 8. I don't know what it is. Let's see. We'll learn together. Star Realms.
What?
Remember, I put a caveat at the start. It's not necessarily based on how much I love the game.
I'm glad I'm sitting down. What just
Star
happened?
Realms. That's another one that comes in a tuck box. A little tiny tuck box.
What just happened?
I'm not basing it on how much I like the game necessarily.
I know, but I didn't think you'd.
It's a really big game. It plays really big. I mean, you end up with having this big area where you can buy stuff, and when you're putting all your cards down, you keep your some of your ships if they survive round to round. You end up with a display of ships in front of you.
Hopefully,
it's a bit. Yeah, hopefully. And there's tons of expansions for it, and even we have 3 or 4 expansions, and it's still only in a little. We put it in a little like Magic the Gathering card holder box. Tuck box. It's like 300 cards we probably have now, but it still only takes up this much space. In fact, you throw it in your purse to take to conventions and stuff.
I have.
So it's
been known to do that.
But I enjoyed the game as much as I kind of mess with it. I still enjoy the game. Oh my gosh. Did I just get some brownie points?
Yeah, I don't even know what happened. I'm in shock, people. I'm in shock.
Star Realms doesn't seem big enough. I can see that. But I think the reason I think of it as big is because we have the gambits, we have the leaders, we have the heroes, we have all sorts of stuff going on. Because if we play with everything, by halfway through the game, we have a tableau of cards in front of us.
Yeah.
And then you have like I said, the display to purchase from.
Yeah.
But I can see where you could say that.
Yep.
But the smallness of it gives it a little extra bonus.
Okay.
All right.
Fair.
Let me do that.
Wow,
let me do your number 8, and
my
then
number
I'm
8.
gonna put the dog out because the dog's
the dog's going crazy. Of course she is. My number 8 is Pit, because this one is a big game in the sense that, sure, they say there's a silent variant. We don't know anybody that's ever been able to pull that off. This is a big game of a lot of people standing around a table, at least most of the time. Sometimes they're diving over the table. Sometimes they're screaming at the table. Sometimes they're screaming at people beside them, back and forth. This is a big game. This is not a game for wallflowers. We have terraflied a wallflower before. It's exciting.
Spoilers, I didn't put it on my list. For whatever reason, I axed it because
But you put star
there's
rails.
nothing on the table other than the bell.
Well, that's the thing. But it's
That's what I kinda-
But it's all over the. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's like
around
my
the table.
it's like my
the-
social deduction. There's a lot.
Your
going on.
neighbors probably know you're playing Pit. That counts as a big game in my book. I'm
I
just
guess
saying.
big as in a big experience.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Stretch the
And it is a little box. It's a little box. It's probably about smaller around than my journal. Okay, it's a small box.
Yeah, it's like
It fits the cards and the bell in it and has a little space to spare. Honestly, it could have been a smaller box. It's a whole mess of cards. And all you're doing, again, is you've got these cards and you're trying to get 9 of a kind. And they're all shuffled up. And you're trading with people, 1, 2s, 3s, or 4s. And you're shouting just the number of cards you want to trade. And people just go berserk. I mean, you're yelling 4, 3, 2. It's like you're on the floor of the doing stocks. So when you do this, it gets really crazy. And supposedly, again, there's a silent variant where you can do this, but all I can see is people like beating the crap out of each
we
other.
played it one time and we
Ended up punching each other because I mean that's what you do. You get like
about halfway
saying.
through the game we started yelling at each other.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't work in our. But we have a more exuberant game group. Maybe if you have a very introverted game group, please experiment with this, and I want to hear about it. I want to know it's possible. I don't believe it's possible. I have spoken.
You have spoken. This is the way, or whatever.
Yes, this is the way.
All right, let's get out of here. Number 7. So you can hear us while the numbers are going on.
Number 7.
What a troublemaker.
All right, my number 7 is let's see what it is.
What is it?
Mafia de Cuba. Now this is another social deduction. Like I said, social deduction is going to dominate my list.
Take up much space on the table.
But it plays up to like 13 people.
It does.
You need
It's
a
ridiculous.
cafeteria table to play this
You
game.
do.
I think with the expansion it gets up to 13, 14, something like that.
It's insane, yeah.
So Mafia de Cuba it's a convention game. I consider it a big game. It comes in literally a cigar box. I think it's a cigar box. It's that size with the lid popping up and everything. All of the components, there's not a lot of components. A bunch of poker chips and some diamonds and some
Not real ones, unfortunately.
some rum
Price
bottles,
point's low.
little rum.
Yeah, the little rum
tokens.
bottle tokens.
But the reason I picked this game is because every time I've played this, usually I don't think every time I played it, we've played with 10 plus players.
yeah, it's always been a huge group. It's so much fun.
It's just a big game, and it's an experience. So I'll use your stretchy thing. It's an experience at a convention. It's very interactive.
How's that stretchy? How's that stretchy, sir?
Using the experience, big experience.
Where's that technical difficulties button?
You're actually gonna get me? So Mafia de Cuba, like I said, social deduction. That's always seems to me it plays like it's a big experience. It's a lot of going on. It's very interactive, and it comes in a little box. In fact, the box could have been much smaller than what it is. It's just for theme, I guess. They use a cigar box. It could have literally come in a little tiny box with some poker chips and a few tokens.
Yeah.
Is all it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There you
it's my
are.
number 7.
There you are.
Mafia de Cuba.
My number 7 goes up into that high variability, high replayability, and that is the Duke. This is a smaller box as well, but I know that everybody's going to be like, but chess is replayable, too, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. But with the Duke, I don't know. I'm not a super big chess fan, but the Duke gives you a chess-like experience, but it's going to be different every time because you flip over the pieces. And every time you do that, the type of move that piece can do changes. So as you're doing this, it's going to be a completely different experience because it's not like the knights always can move this way or they can always do this. Because depending on how you start, where you flip and all this, you've got double, triple, quadruple the kinds of moves that you would be making in a chess game. I think that is so cool. I love that. Maybe it's limiting in some ways to some people because of that. Those pieces only do that one little thing. But again, you flip them. I don't know. You have to tell me what you think about that. I think it just takes chess and makes it explode. I think it brings a huge game experience to it. You look very What? Huh?
I'm trying to think of how to politely disagree.
Oh, don't bother. Oh, don't bother.
I just don't. I mean,
Why
if you're going to include the Duke, you can include any small game because there's not. I mean, what makes it big?
I just said what makes it big. You get to play it.
Yeah, but
it's
then
completely...
you could say anything. You could say chess.
Yeah.
You could say checkers. You could say liar's dice.
You could if you can defend yourself. You got a good defense for any of those games, sir? Yeah, that's right. Where's the technical... Oh, man. Fisticuffs, eh? Oh, hey, we're back.
All right, so... I don't know what's going on right now. Let's just move on to number 6.
Number 6.
That's you.
Sorry, I was laughing. My number 6, let's see what it is. Where is it? There we go. My number 6 is Archaeology, the New Expedition.
How?
It's a big game. It's a lot of game in that little tiny box. There is.
Like,
You have the display of all the cards. You have 3 or 4, actually 5, 6 different ways you can change up the game with that middle piece. I forget what it's called, the crypt or whatever you're going in and exploring. It's a big game. It's a big game. she's gonna berate all my choices from now on.
possibly.
There's a lot of game in that little
a lot
tiny
of cards,
box.
maybe.
What?
Huh?
We've gone off the rails. So why do you think it's not a big game?
Oh, I don't know, just because you said it.
There's a lot of game in that little box.
No, and it's a lot of fun. And you never know when the sandstorms are going to come up and just blow all of it away. And
I guess I'm more think of it towards the end when you have all these sets in front, all these different sets of cards in front of you. You end up having like 20 cards in the middle of the game. You're attacking others, stealing cards. You got the sandstorms going on.
Yeah.
You also have the mission of collecting the treasures in the middle with the different, like I said, I don't know what they're called, crypts or I don't know what they're called. The little
mausoleums.
I don't know what they're called.
Tombs. Indiana Jones.
The thing in the middle of the board that you're trying to go on missions to get special treasures.
That thing belongs in a museum.
I mean, when I think of a meaty small game, this is one of the first ones I think of because, I don't know, for whatever reason, I do. Yeah.
It's no Duke, but it's pretty.
Oh my gosh. What's your number 6? I better be impressed.
My number 6, I'm sure you're not. It's Rome. And not Rome as in the city,
This is very much
where all
like-
roads lead. This is Rome as in the verb to wander. So, no comment from the Peanut Gallery. I'm impressed. All right, A.
You gotta give him a little time.
Ryan Lockett Art. I'm talking about you, Peanut Gallery.
Oh, I'm the
not
Peanut
you.
Gallery?
Yeah. No, not you. So, this game is in this little box, but then you're going out and you have this big grid of different places and stuff that you do area control. So it feels like a big box game where you're fighting for supremacy, but it's over these little tiny squares. But as you get those, you're getting different benefits and whatnot as you're pulling them in. You're getting your victory points from this. And it's got unique little characters and just, it's got a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be different every time you play it. Is it 2-player only?
No, 4 players.
It is up
2 to
4
4.
Okay, we've only played a 2-player, obviously, because we got it within the last year.
Yeah, you position yourself on each side of the
Okay.
the center
gosh.
area, and your view is from your position.
That's
you're
even
sitting.
cooler. I can't wait. I cannot wait to play that with more players because I think it's going to make it even more exciting. With the area control, you're going to be duking it out, fighting for what? What's wrong? So
Womp womp.
I might have done that intentionally. But it's just, I don't know. I think it's a really fun game. I think it brings a lot to it. And again, it's in this little tiny box that, honestly, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, this is going to be a cutesy little, 10-minute game. and it really felt like it had more meat to it for a shorter game, a lot of strategy involved.
Yeah, this reminds
Really
me a lot of archaeology. The same reasons that.
Yeah, kind of because you're collecting stuff, right?
Yeah,
as you go.
There's a lot of stuff going on. You're really paying attention to what's going on in the middle of the board. You got your tableau you're building up. Mine's just set collection. Yours is actually different powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I give this one approval. We won't talk about the Duke, but
Hoity-toity.
all right, let's do number 5.
Number 5.
Nessa's so exuberant in that.
Number 5. All right, what's my number 5? Let's find out. Artifacts Inc. from the same designer as Rebecca's previous one.
I always forget that too, because this was the first Ryan Lockett game we ever played.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was.
Artifacts Inc. This one has some nostalgia to it, but this was I guess one of the first small box games that just when you're playing it, it just sprawls over the table. It just really kind of opened my eyes to what a small game can do, because you have just so much going on. You have this giant market you're doing. You have your tableau you're building. You have these museums you're trying to fill up full of stuff.
And then you
It's
got
the
artifact
dice you're
thing,
rolling.
the diving area.
You got the diving as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like
this one.
a lot.
This one spreads out over the table. You would never think it came out of a smaller box, because it looks like a big game. They probably could have.
We froze.
Oh, did we?
It looks like it.
We did.
I'm going to cry.
We froze, but you probably can still hear us.
How do you do that without moving your mouth? I'm a ventriloquist.
Are back.
You did put start streaming, right? Okay, it looks like it says stop streaming, so that means you started it. I believe. Right? Why are they still spinning? Oh, there it is. Hey. Weird.
All right, this has been a night.
Yeah. All right.
Artifacts Inc. is really good. I don't know where we stopped. I don't know where we froze.
I don't know where it froze either. All right, let's do this. I'm number 5. My number 5 has been mentioned before. My number 5
I already popped it up.
is no surprise to anyone in now.
I thought you were going to say
Is Saboteur.
Man.
Sorry, a little hard to concentrate. So, Saboteur, like he said, is insanely awesome. It's one of those where it's just to start the game, you have this giant map on here, like you said.
You have no map.
No, well, it's all flipped over. You can't see it.
Right.
You have a goal you'd like to dig to, and you have your starting point, and you have to make the two meet, basically. But there's 3 different options. We didn't talk about there's 3 different choices where the treasure could be, and you want to go to the correct one, or else you lose. Well, then there's the bad dwarves that for some reason don't want you to get the treasure. And so they're breaking your tools. And so then you need to start breaking their tools. And everyone starts breaking each other's tools. And then someone gets falsely accused. And they have a hissy. And they're pointing to stuff. And then it gets really exciting. It's a really awesome game. I've had so much fun introducing this to people. So much fun.
I can't read the chat.
And
I don't know if I want to read the chat.
do you want to read the chat? Frozen with mouths open. Oh, that's when it froze. Yeah, I know. We're like the aliens in Galaxy Quest. So... Saboteur, greatness.
You done?
Okay, yeah. Don't let the door hit ya.
Number 4.
Caitlin's starting to sound like me. Holy
Number
cow.
4.
She sounds a lot like me. Okay.
Oh, man.
What's your number 4,
I
babe?
don't know. Let's find out. My number 4 is Targi.
That's a good one.
Targi.
I don't... Spoilers. I did not put Targi on my list. I probably should have.
The top part of my list are the heavier games on my list.
Okay.
Ish.
Okay.
But this one is another one that it's a full strategy game that comes in a small little one of those little 2-player boxes, and you basically create the board with cards that you're playing on and you're interacting with for the worker placement, And you also have this big tableau you're building up. You have all these resources you're managing. If you get the expansion, there adds a whole nother section to the game, the sand dunes that you can travel to and do as well. So it adds even more to the game. Yeah, this one feels like I said a full-blown worker placement game, and it comes in a small little box. It's only 2-player. That's probably one of the reasons. I guess but
it's so much fun. It feels like it's more than a 2-player game.
Yeah, and for whatever reason they cram all those 2-player games in those same little size boxes.
Which is I like
those
that.
little 2-player boxes.
I love those. Those are some of my favorite go-to games, honestly.
That is a very interesting. I like how the worker placement works. Is you're doing you're putting pieces, and where they meet is what the items you get. So if you haven't tried Targi and you play 2-player games, it's a great one to get. I think it got reprinted with the expansion, and yeah. So it's Rebecca's turn. Go.
Okay, mine is 7 Wonders Duel. This one is another go-to 2-player game. It's got that same kind of size box, but the table spread is ridiculous. If you've seen the layout for these, what you do instead of trading off of partners and stuff, because it's a 2-player game, they have a card pyramid that they build, where as you unveil, flip over one card, and use it, then it reveals the corners to other cards. And once those, the corners are revealed, then you're getting more and more of them. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. But the setup for this game is a lot for just a little 2-player game. Right. It's a big game, and it's got a lot going on, and it just spreads out over the table. Plus, you're doing your usual 7 Wonders stuff over on your own side and everything. But just the centerpiece for it is huge. There's 3 different shapes for the 3 different rounds of how you set it up and organize it and whatnot, and it's really fun, and it feels like it doesn't feel quite exactly the same as 7 Wonders to me, but it still feels like a big game that 7 Wonders is, if that makes sense. It's just doing some things that are a little bit unique because you can't do the trading and stuff, but it has other things to kind of help replace that. And there's a really big emphasis on keeping the balance in this game, because you have to really watch what your opponent is doing, because as soon as he starts to go for military, I need to keep up, because anybody gets ahead in any of the different areas in military or resource, all this stuff, they can run away with it. So you don't want anybody to get a good head start on any of those sections, or game over. So it's really good. I like fighting that one to the finish. It's a good one.
All right, let's move on.
You're zoned.
Number 3. I think, and deep in thought.
Dog making philosophical.
Number 3.
My number 3 is 7 Wonders Duel. That's why I was deep in thought.
Aha!
So it's interesting. I recently, well, I haven't recently. It hasn't aired yet. I did a board game breakfast on 7 Wonders because it was the number 1 game in 2011, 10.
Oh gosh.
11.
Gosh, that's cool.
And so 7 Wonders recently got a reprint. This is what I was thinking about when a minute ago my mind wandered off. 7 Wonders, the original game, got a reprint recently, 2nd edition of the game. And it's funny because in the 1st edition they had a 2-player variant that almost everybody but Rado thought was garbage. He loved it for whatever reason.
Which is funny because we didn't like it
either.
either.
The new edition of 7 Wonders does not have the variant and lists 3 to 7 players on the box.
Well.
So that's what I was thinking of at the time.
That's funny.
So 7 Wonders Duel is the 2-player 7 Wonders officially now. If you get the new edition of 7 Wonders, there's not a 2-player variant. So if you want to play 7 Wonders 2-player, 7 Wonders Duel is the way to go.
That's interesting.
I probably actually like this game a little bit better than 7 Wonders, to be honest, because I like you said, I like the play off of each other. Like you said, you have to
It's a big tug of war.
And every time I play, I'm like, I'm gonna go military this time, or I'm gonna go science this time, because there's 3 different ways to win, and I always seem to go for one or the other. And I think it's really cool if you get that win, that instant win, with one of those conditions, rather than going for full game and scoring it, so you had the most points.
True.
Just a really solid game. It's really good. It's ranked way high up on the BGG. Ranked.
Oh man.
Let's move on to my number 2. Or Rebecca's 3 instead. Oh, I just put it up for you.
Hey, how about the crew? This is a game that, unassuming little box, little bit of cards. Maybe you're only playing with a few people, but it's a big game. It's a challenge. You've got round after round of all these different tasks you want to keep doing, and it's like this addictive, it's like a collection of little games. It feels like maybe a little game at first, but you realize that it's now become like this big conquest. I must conquer all the games. What are you doing? Okay. I know where you sleep. So it's
Wow, we got real up in here.
But I think it's more than just this little box of cards. Again, it's like Hunter was saying with good cop, bad cop, but this is like more of it. Because at first you're sitting around playing spades, okay? Sit around, play spades. This is like spades on crack, okay? Because you have a different objective. It's the same cards, but each time you have different objectives and different things that you're doing with it every single round. I love that. But it's not just rummy either, because it's got more variety. It's got, 50, 60 different objectives for you to conquer to complete in the game. It's insane. It takes all of that you're used to playing maybe with your family and takes it to a next new level. I love it. You can play with gamers, you can play it with family. It's a big game, little box.
I can't. I figured out what it is. I can't wrap my head around replayability as making it big. I can't. I just can't. I guess I'm very limited in my boundaries of.
So you're saying you're closed-minded?
Possibly. I just can't.
It's not working for you, huh?
Yeah, I just replayability. I just can't. That doesn't feel big to me.
I would say no if it was just straight up replayability, but it's different every time you're playing it.
So you're thinking big as you're getting a lot of bang for your buck.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so I'm not.
Would it be better if I worded it that way too? Would that be better?
Possibly.
Would that be better?
Does
that sit better?
But to me, that's a different list. The bang for your buck is a different list.
But it's little.
True.
I'm going with the side. I'm done with you.
Wow.
Yeah, let me put this on here the way you wrote it for me. Here you go.
If I had my green screen shut up, I'd show you what I wrote. I put no next to it, and then she just wrote no, big, about me. All right, let's move on to number 2. The craziest list ever in the history of lists.
Maybe. Number 2.
All right, let's see what my number 2 is.
Caitlin giggling.
Let's look. What's my number 2?
What is your
my
number
2 is Race for the Galaxy.
That's a slightly larger box,
Nope.
sir.
Nope, right here. Small box. What's even funnier?
No, I totally
What's
agree.
even funnier is even though it comes in a big box.
Oh yeah, it's mostly empty.
Look at this.
Ridiculous.
Look what's in this box. Some tokens.
Yeah,
and a deck of cards.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's it. The only reason the box is that big is
they
because
want to
these
shelf
boards.
presents.
Man.
Oh, they could even have shrunk those. Of course, you go blind reading them.
Yeah, this is
They
race.
could've made them
This
smaller
is
and
Race
made
for
more
the
of them.
Galaxy right here.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it.
I'm just messing with you now. It's too easy. Can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But
I'm really sorry.
what?
Huh?
You guys are seeing my pajama bottoms.
Uh-oh.
So I'm really worked up now. All this technical difficulties got me. I'm just ready to run through
Flip the
wall.
table? Oh, yeah, you probably would too.
So, Race for the
Kool-Aid
Galaxy. The reason
Man.
I added this one is because it's a heavy game. It's got tons of symbols, tons of things to learn. It's hard. It's relatively hard to teach. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different ways lots of choices in how you play. So the big in this case is it's a heavy game. I consider it a fairly heavy game.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a game I'd introduce to non-gamers or anything like that. It's pretty far up the list.
There's a lot of icons and
there's lots of choices and how you paths to go.
the timing.
Yes, it's an okay game. So I guess the reason I put it on the list more so than the size of the box is I just know it's just a deck of cards. That's all it is. I mean, it's the same thing as Star Realms, basically. It's just a deck
Yeah,
of,
that's crazy.
it's just a deck of cards.
That's crazy.
And
I
some
agree.
tokens for scoring.
I agree.
That's all it is.
I love it.
So, there you go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So my number 2.
Oh, here, let me actually do it right this time.
It's going to be... My number 2 is a small game, but it kind of contains the universe. And that is Leaving Earth. Okay? You
I
cannot
thought
get...
this was going to be your number
much,
one.
Cannot get much bigger
I thought this was
than
going to be your
having
number
this
one.
small game and then have, the galaxy, in your itinerary here. I love this. So you start out with this game, and yeah, it's kind of mathy, but it's all basic math. So don't freak out on me, people. Stay with me. I'm not a math person, so stay with me. What you're doing though is you're calculating, and you become a rocket scientist, and you get to plot how you're going to build your rocket, what you need for it, and what you're all the equipment that you need to be able to accomplish your mission. And it could be something like putting a satellite into orbit, or putting a satellite around the moon, or visiting the moon and coming back, or going to Mars or beyond. And there's expansions like outer planets and other stuff. And there's things to expand on where you want to go. And the math, of course, you're mathing out your rocket and your stuff, and the cat's insane, and yikes, everything has gone berserk. Is it a full moon? So but it's a really neat game. And you have like Hunter made it really cool. He laminated the little sheet so we wouldn't be using them over and over, and we just have the one sheet, and you can use it to calculate all of the thrust from each type of rocket that you need, so you can combine the correct amount of rockets to what you're trying to do, because you also have to be able to boost yourself past Earth's gravity. Oh yeah, hey, check that out. So he laminated the mission plan, and you can see here you have the maneuvers. This is a lot. I don't usually use this many spaces, but I've only done some of the basic missions. So I'm assuming if you try to go to Jupiter or something, you probably will fill this up. But it tells you like the difficulty. It's got the payload mass, the rockets, and the rocket mass, because you have to calculate all of that, right? Because you're pushing all of it into space. And then he laminated the cool little cheat sheets that help you with... what does it have on here? Oh, yeah,
Everything.
the different... Yeah, it's got the turn, like what you do in a turn, and the details and stuff. So it's a little harder to fit back in the box, because obviously these are all unfolded and whatnot. But it's so worth it to have it outside of the box. Again, it's a huge game, and you get to lay everything out, and you kind of get to see it in action. If you like astronomy and space and the whole NASA thing, and you want to kind of play with it, this is a great game for that. It's kind of bringing the reality into the game a little bit. It feels like you're getting to be a rocket scientist for a little while. I love it. It's so much fun. And at the same time, it's got a bit of reality in it too, that we are competing. We're different space agencies, but in the same way that our space agencies still work right now too, is they also work together, so we can share tech that we've developed. We can kind of work together, even though we're going to be competing ultimately to get our missions accomplished first. It's really neat how it combines those things that really happen. I love it. Absolutely. So, Leaving Earth. Check it out.
I have no comment.
You have no comment because it's awesome?
No comment.
Because it's awesome.
Trying to make me comment. I'm not commenting.
Number 1.
My number one is Leaving Earth. I actually have the box here.
Do you?
Look at this.
See, look at how cute and little it is.
Look, I can
Galaxy.
actually put the box where the box goes. Wait, I can't.
You can almost hide it.
Hold on. Almost.
That's funny.
Not quite.
Okay, well,
There's a
it was
reel
funny.
here. I can't quite.
You're killing me.
Anyway, Leaving Earth. Like Rebecca said, this is an amazing game. It's probably one of our heaviest games. It comes in a little tiny box. There's really not a lot going on besides the massive rule book. Then you got like a bunch of stuff. See,
Little wooden bits and things, and it is wooden, right? Aren't they little wooden
the
bits?
wooden bits
Yeah.
and little tiny cards.
Oh, I didn't
and
talk
stuff
about
like
the
that.
time. It talks about calculating the time for stuff too. I didn't even talk about.
But
the
yeah,
time
this one
scale.
is it's a heavy game. This one, I'm not even sure how I taught you this game. I don't even remember. But yeah, there's a lot going on in this game. It's a math. It's a math problem in terms of, like you said, the payload and the rest of the rockets and calculating and missions. And as rockets drop off, your payload gets lighter and you have to recalculate and blah blah blah. And
It's
you're
awesome.
basically you have to be a rocket scientist to play this game. But I love this
No,
game.
you're not.
I'm exaggerating. It's not that bad.
No,
it's basic, really basic
clearly
math.
not rocket
Once you get the concept of how that works, it's fairly simple. But you actually have to build a little spreadsheet to calculate how much it's going to take. Man,
Our cat.
I need to leave Earth.
Oh my gosh.
I need to be on this ship leaving Earth. Our
You
cat has
volunteering?
lost his mind.
Oh, there's a bug. That's why he found a fly or a
But anyway,
mayfly.
leaving Earth. Someone mentioned in chat that they said they were having trouble getting copies of this shipped because it's
They do really limited prints,
it's
right?
very limited print runs, and they handle all the stuff themselves. In this box, I believe they pack it themselves and put the little sticker on. And you have to cut.
Oh my gosh!
You have to cut the sticker to open the
I
box.
had a small stroke when you did that, by the way.
You have to actually slice
wanna-
the side of the box to open it.
I like the art.
But it's a great game. We have the expansions. We need to get those played. We have it comes with it now comes with the Mercury expansions in the box, but then we have 2 other expansions. I can't see them.
Outer Planets and Stations.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so there's 2 other expansions we haven't even tapped into yet. So we should play this again.
We should. Leave it on the table.
All right. Have to teach you how to play again.
The family countdown.
So anyway, my number 1's Leaving Earth. Great game. Try if you can't get a copy, retail copy, you might try to find a secondhand copy through Board Game Geek or
that's a good idea.
eBay. You might try that route because I suspect some people got this game and didn't realize that as heavy as it is, and may want to part with it, but maybe not. But there you go. And I figured out Rebecca's number 1, so I got her number 1
Do you? I'm
is
sure
next
you
to
did.
me, so that she can talk about it. Go for it.
All right, Artifacts Inc. I picked this one as the number 1 because I feel like this is the one that explodes the most for the size of the box. Because like Hunter said, when we're talking about the game, this is another one of those boxes that is by no means, it's not a big box, and it's not full. We got a rule book, and here you go. See? This is all...
Yeah,
Empty.
bunch of tokens.
And even the little
And
board...
little money tokens and little tiny dice.
And here's the so-called board. It doesn't even fit. You see, there's room in the box. I don't know why they must have.
And
This
then
is
a
a
deck of
standard
cards.
size. I'm assuming. So this is the diving area with the scoreboard, which goes in the middle, and then you've got, or at the top rather, and then you've got a whole tableau, like he said, of things that you can purchase. Then you're going to have a whole bunch of museums and stuff that you can sell to get money and goods and whatnot. Then you're going to have your tableau that you're building as you acquire different cards and things that you can use to help build up your little engine. Also, it's got bonus points at the end of the game where proximity to certain types of cards and things will give you extra victory points. So again, this is just one of the areas, and it just spreads out.
I don't know if you can see. This is the setup of the game. The board that Rebecca's holding is this one tiny little thing right here.
Yeah.
Then you have a tableau of 12 cards that you can purchase here. Then you have all these museums up here at the top.
All that in this little box.
All that is the setup. So this probably could have been a full size board. There's a lot of games like this that have this style of game. They'll put a board, and then all you do is lay the cards out on the board. But they don't use a board. There's no really neat reason to do it, to play out all the different cards.
The only thing I want to do with this game is upgrade these dice. They're brown and so
We don't usually do them.
boring.
We usually get our own dice.
We do. We should just put some cool dice in here because we have so many extra dice. But this game is so neat because you go in and you're building up this engine. You start with a certain amount of goods and stuff, and you can build up to get different, you're finding them, right? You're digging up and finding new ones that you can get more money and things for, and then you can spend more money to get these other things that give you victory points, and you start that little engine going, and you want to try to beat the other players to it. This is fun at 2 players. This is fun at 4 players. It's great at all player counts. It is 2 to 4 players. And again, it takes this huge space on the table. So I cannot recommend Artifacts Inc. enough, quite frankly.
I declare victory because my box is slightly smaller. Slightly smaller than your box.
But mine, this is my number 2, so I think my
No, we're
number one and
comparing
2
number
are better.
ones. I think In fact, it's slightly wider too. If you
Is
I
it?
don't know if that shows on camera. It's slightly wider than my box as well. There's a little bit on the side here. So I declare victory in this war of top 10. Top 10 war. I declare victory.
I declare a thumb war. That's what I keep hearing.
All right, guys.
2,
We
3,
apologize for all the technical problems, the technical difficulties.
But you stuck with us and you're awesome and you get a gold star.
Where's the gold
I don't know, where'd you put the gold star?
Oh, the gold star's over in the box that you haven't.
Shenanigans.
You haven't set up the box yet.
Don't out me.
She hasn't set up that box of stuff.
Okay.
Oh man, it's been a crazy. We locked up again.
We
locked up
It's
again.
a sign. It's a sign.
It's a sign
It's a
that we
sign.
should leave.
From the streaming deities.
I don't know if you
They
guys
have
can hear us when we're
declared
frozen, but
that they are displeased.
But we love you guys. We're gonna go throw everything in our canal and cry. Good night.
Bye.
We love you guys.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.